Hello there, and welcome to my first battle report for County Road Z, Rural Survival in the Zombie Apocalypse. Again, here's my little intro thingy here, my logo. And game one. So game one in County Road Z is always getting a new settlement. So you've got your band of survivors, and you're trying to basically clear out a house to get you a place to have as your first base of operations. So that's what we'll be doing here. And then obviously from the next game onwards, we will do other missions as needed. Here is my crew, all War Games Atlantic figures. It's a really big image. So a mix of the male survivor figures, the operators, the federal agent, the agent's box for the female survivor pieces. I need to take better photos than that, clearly. But yeah, so these are my three survivors. The campaign is set in rural Wellington, New Zealand. So some of the references will be based on how things operate here. But overall, we're not really changing anything, just more for a bit of local flavour since I don't know all the details of America. So yeah, and it means a little bit of local flavour for New Zealand. So the start of the game, sorry about the table, it's a bit over the top. It start a new community is the first mission. So you're going to eliminate all the zombies in the area and secure the building. So basically, once you've got no survivors outside the building, as in they've got to be inside the building, and no zombies within 6 inches of it, you can claim it as a win. Obviously, if you clear the entire table as well, but that's really hard to do. You'll see soon the details of the table, but there's a key building and some other bits and pieces. You get 10 zombies. We get 1 zombie per level of survivors, which you always start with 10, so that's how you get 10 zombies, and they're randomly deployed, sort of a scatter, grid-based scatter system, so they can end up anywhere. Same with a couple of resource tokens. You always get 1 stranger, so you get a chance to rescue a potential other survivor as well, who's lurking, in this case, in the trees near the building. There's no potential vehicles that we can loot. I think the comment is no one's that lucky in their first look out. We've used a scout skill to move one of the distant resource tokens, and I get a few rerolls for having the tactic skill on one of my characters. And on the blog I've got, you will see more details of each of the characters, their skills, and the full background. So if you go to borthwick.nz, in the campaign section is all the story of how I built the world, and all the background to each of the characters. So deployment. So let's have a look at how we have the table set up. All right, so ready for game 1 of County Road Z. This is the first mission, is always to get your new base. So we have 10 zombies set up on the table, randomly spawned using the rules in the game. Have our survivors down here in the corner, find the safest way to come onto the table. And so we'll see how the game goes. Hope you enjoy it. Set up. You can see here that my survivors are down. That's a much better photo. Down the base here in the corner behind the shipping container. We've got a zombie over here near the house. Some of these zombies are representing in the building. A couple of zombies on the side at the back there. There's a resource token far off in the distance there. Over on this side, you see our survivor. At the moment, I don't know who the survivor is going to be. I'm just using a random stand-in model. It's my Mel the Terrain Shooter model. I typically use it for my stand-in civilians. Another resource, some more resources. I don't know if that's the official. That's just something there. And some more zombies around the side here. And then there's my Mel, and there's another person there. Another zombie down there on the back of the trailer. So let's dive into turn 1. Now in this game, you can activate each of your survivors in turn. They get, in any order you want, they get 2 actions, and then obviously the zombies react based on noise. And then once that's all happened, the zombies activate, which I'll explain. And once we've got the hang of it, I won't keep repeating how it works. So my first thing is Andy Hayes. He sneaks up around the side here and shoots with an arrow this zombie here. That's nice and sorted. Then Bruno shotguns this one and then knocks that one down, and then you can see the zombie here has moved further forward due to the noise. And then Claire has come around this side and is at the most extreme range with the pistol clocked this zombie. Again, it causes a noise, but there's no one close enough to react to the noise there. So all in all, pretty good first batch of activations with my survivors. And because there are no active zombies currently, the furthest zombie away from anyone becomes turned into active. And so that's this one here, and that's all they do. They don't do anything else. So it starts off reasonably slow. So then we get into turn 2. What happens in turn 2? That's right. Oh, so I think this is just starting off. Oh, yes, right. And the first zombie, the first new spawning zombie actually shows up down the bottom here in turn 1. So just to add a bit of fun to us. So now turn 2. Claire has run up, and because she's got the scavenge skill, she's actually managed to find 2 resources instead of 1 in the pile, which is great. Hasn't caused any noise doing this. Bruno has shotgunned that zombie and he's run around behind the container. Sorry, he's over there. He's hiding from me as well, behind the playground area. And Andy has moved to the side, and he failed to shoot the zombie who is activated and is moving towards him. And then the aggressive zombie, so in the zombie phase, this one moves closer. So I'm using a little heart to show that basically its heart rate, for want of a better word, has increased. So now it means it's active. Active zombies are harder to kill than static ones, and obviously the ones who attack you. So that one there has moved closer, so I better deal with that soon. So there's a bit of strategy coming in. And at the far end, this active one has, when there's no survivors in line of sight, they move towards the nearest passive zombie and turn it active as well. So they're forming a horde, which is not great. So now we come in. Oh, and then we get a new zombie down the far corner here. This is on the other side of those resources. Coming to turn 3, I took an overview photo. I keep forgetting to do this, so you can see our crew down here on the side of the building. Not prepared to dive in through the window yet, because you don't want to smash the windows and things like that, because this is where you're meant to be living. So if you trash it, it's going to be harder for you. You can see we're starting to get a few active zombies, and if we don't sort this out, things could go badly. Thankfully, Andy shot the zombie that was buried under him, and because his bow only causes noise on the target, nothing else happens, and no other zombies spawn nearby, which is great. What does Claire do? Claire ran up and tried to shoot through the window and failed. So the zombie crashed through to the ground. Thankfully, Bruno down here moved up behind the car and shot it. Otherwise, it was probably going to dive onto Andy, which would not have been great. So, oops, it didn't work so well. But yes, so that's there. And then if we look at what the zombies do, they've moved towards this particular zombie. So we're starting to get a bit of a horde forming, which is not ideal. And then we didn't show it here. Oops, what's going on here? It's backwards. Another zombie forming back in the starting corner. So turn 4. Claire has moved around the building to a better position. She's out of range of that particular zombie, which is a bit annoying. Bruno failed to shoot the zombie that shot in the corner, and it has rushed towards him. I think that's what's happened. And then Andy climbs over the hedge and zaps it with a bow. So had he not done this, it would have rushed into combat with Bruno, which would not have been great. So we're managing to bracket the zombies, which is quite handy. If you fail too many attack rolls, you can get swarmed, and it's pretty brutal in this game. So we're still working as a team, which is very handy. Zombie activation, the horde starts moving, and they sort of, if they can't see anyone, they move in a random direction. So they're moving in a random direction. I'm assuming that the survivor is hidden until he activates. I don't know if you activate him. I just had him standing there as an objective. But the zombies never get near him, which is good. And another zombie has spawned over here, and the first time it spawned in this corner here. So we're starting to get a bit of a collection. And this is the second corner going clockwise around from where we started. Corner 2, basically. Going to turn 5. Andy zipped up and shot the zombie at the far pace there that Claire was out of range of. Bruno has positioned within line of sight a zombie which was crashed through the building. I don't remember how that got there. This is the joy of I played this game before I went to Adepticon, and now I'm trying to record it. Oh well. And then Claire, as you can see up in the corner, I forgot to take a photo, has interacted with the loot. So 2 more resources there for later on, which is great. The horde has moved further down the road, again in a random direction, and a new zombie has spawned back in the same corner. This is starting to pick up, so we're getting a bit of a cluster there. So we go into turn 6. Bruno, what happens there? So what happens in this thing? That's right. Bruno failed to shoot the zombie and then retreated. If you can see that, Andy thankfully shot it, and then Claire has run around the corner of the building. Because obviously our mission is to get into the doors here, so she's trying to figure out how to best to do this. So she's just getting in position. The horde this time moved back up the road. They're random. They're just staggering around. They can hear noises, but it's not making the act. They're just moving all over the place. So now the horde can see Claire, which is not great, and a new zombie spawned in the back corner here, which is not quite what we want. Turn 7. All right, so starting to get a bit exciting. So first off, Bruno failed to shoot the zombie at the far end there, and so it moved forward, which is not great. Andy did shoot one of the horde zombies, and the rest of the horde moved forward, but he's taken one of them out, which is great. And then Claire failed to shoot the zombie as well, and is now charged into close combat with her, which is not great. And in the zombie activation phase, thankfully it misses her, which is very handy. That's what we needed. I can't remember what I rolled, but it did miss her, which is very useful. Or it only made the combat climb over the things in the zombie phase. I forget, but either way, she didn't get hurt. And the horde has moved closer to us. We're starting to get a little bit bracketed, which is not ideal. And then another new zombie spawning down the back here. So just continuing to pop up. So we're getting a bit of a cluster down there. Turn 8. A bit of desperation. If you don't have close combat skills, you can only do a shove. Claire does not have close combat, have a close combat weapon. So that's Bruno and Andy have that. So she does a shove action, and I had to use one of my re-rolls, and she managed to shove the zombie actually off the table, and that means it's gone. Basically, she shoves it far enough that it falls to pieces, which is very handy. Andy shot the closest. So she did that. Then she turned around and shot one of the zombies in the horde, and Andy shot the other one. So I'm not sure where the other one's gone, but that's me forgetting to place things down. And Bruno, who's moved up to catch up with the team, which is rather handy. So there we go. So this is turn 8. Now and there's the zombies. And now that we're out of aggressive zombies, we start having new ones pop up. So now in the farthest corner from us, that one's active, and now he's moved to he's just turned active. Next turn, they're going to all go kind of active. Now we start to get to the end phase of the game. So I'll rattle through this. The team moves up around the corner. We're not shooting anything. I think we're out of range. There's no point having them rush towards us extra. You see there. So Bruno and Andy have moved into the building. Claire has run over to engage with the survivor, who she then runs back into the building with. And by this point, the zombies have all hoarded up over here. And the last thing they do is they stagger around the building here. But by this point, we have made it into the building, and the game is over, which is great. So, and that's the last shot. I don't know why I did that. I forgot to take a photo of them all in the building. So, successfully achieved their mission. All zombies were cleared within range of the building, and building secured, so that we've successfully got that. No one was incapacitated, so we got a complete success. Got 4 resource tokens collected during the mission, and we rescued a stranger, so that's handy. Now we get to the advancement phase. So in this game, everyone who participates in the mission gets an XP, and you can give out a bonus to one person. And I basically made my tactics and my bladed weapon go to level 1. So that means I get a bonus next time, and then Claire improved her scavenge skill to level 1, and Bruno improved his shotgun skill because he kept missing. The new survivor, who I don't know who's going to be yet, but it's going to be a female. I've got to make the model. It's a tier one survivor. So Andy is a tier 4, Claire and Bruno are tier 3, so they're pretty good. And she's level 1 with incorporation, 0 everything else, and skill and rationing. We get the materials. We get when you take over a new base, you get, in the first game at least, you get all the maximum resources that it can hold. So that's 4 food, 4 hardware, 4 fuel, which is great. And then from what we found, the 4 things we found, we got another food, another fuel, another hardware, and a rare item. So they're giving us 5, 5, 5, and rare. The rare thing was a grappling hook. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but we have a grappling hook. No wounds sustained, and because we didn't start any facilities last turn, so there's nothing to complete this turn. So that was the advancement phase. In the planning phase, we had no facilities anyway, so we didn't assign anyone to that. Bruno and the new survivor have been assigned to the project team. So they've provided 4 labor, and basically it's the total of all the levels. So Bruno being level 3 and the new survivor being level 1. It gives us 4 labor, which we need for the garden and the fence, which will give us more food. And we use 2 of the hardware for that. And Andy and Claire have been selected for the next mission. All survivors are adequately rested, so we don't have to worry about, we've got enough beds. So that's great. And then we get to the management phase. No survivor, 0 house. So don't have to worry about rot or someone dying. Everyone got enough food. Have enough beds. I'm not sure why I did that twice, but that's me being silly. No unrest, because you can have a maximum. So we lose some of the fuel because we had 5 fuel and only 4 capacity, so we lose some of that. Nothing we can do about that. Siege threat is 0, so no siege of the building, and no one left, and no survivors at 0 health. I don't know why that's in there twice again, but that's just me not noticing stuff. So, but to reiterate, no one is in danger of the rot. And so the next campaign turn, I need to figure out the mission. So I've only got 2 survivors going on the next mission, and that mission will be to gather materials. We need more food, so that before we can start making some of our own from the garden, stuff like that. So you need a certain amount of food every turn, otherwise people start getting hungry and then unrest goes up. So that is that. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to follow me along, please do. I'll be posting out photos on X and Instagram. That's my website, which you can see blogs and articles and things like that about, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I've painted as well. And all the YouTube-y, likey, subscribe-y, blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.